Welcome back, everyone. So, in keeping with our deep dive into all of the secret rares of Attack on Titan Apocalypse, let's take a look at the Chaos secret rare, Female Titan's Roundhouse Kick, which is a GIF that Chris Smith, aka Brody1, shares on the Discord all the time of just Female Titan punting people into oblivion. This is a 6 difficulty, 3 control, 6 low for 6 with a 1 low block, EX3, Shift, Kick, and Titan. Right off the bat, this can be picked up with Female Titan, the backup, because you can pick up a kick from your discard pile. And then response, after you spend 1 or more momentum, this attack gets +1 damage for each momentum spent this way. So if you do your EX3 3 times, you also get 3 damage. 9 speed and 3 damage, not bad. Yeah, it's interesting. So, pretty basic. And then it transforms into Annie's Contemplations, a unique foundation, which has response commit. After you sacrifice 1 or more foundations, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. So, pretty cool. This is definitely a shift where you would probably want both in play at a time, as opposed to like, oh, I've got a backup one, so, you know, usually you're not too worried. But this is kind of cool because this one kind of fuels its front side as well because of that EX3. So you can sacrifice foundation, get a momentum, and then use that EX3 to get 3 speed and however many damage. Yeah, pretty interesting. Pretty basic, pretty straightforward, but I'm not mad about it. So let's see what characters would want something like this. Obviously Annie, because you can commit backups as though they were foundations. You can sacrifice a foundation to add the top card of your deck to your momentum, which then your foundation shifted Female Titan's Roundhouse will commit to add another card to your momentum. And then if you have 3 or more momentum, you get to transform Annie, which is pretty cool because you can then spend a momentum for +3 or -3 damage, and your next check gets +2. So imagine you spend a momentum for EX3, you get a damage. Then you spend 1 for this +3 damage, and you get a damage. That's 5 damage and 3 speed, making that a 9 low for 11 for the cost of 2 momentum, and your next check gets +2. And then if you already have 2 or more backups in play, it also gets another 2 speed, so it can become an 11 low 11 for the cost of 2 momentum and having 2 backups. Not bad. We have Aaron Yeager Usurper, who can mill 3 to add a Titan or Fury card milled this way to your momentum, which is pretty good. And then you can spend a momentum to add a Titan card from your discard pile to your hand once per turn. Maybe not the best, but you do get 3 damage and stun 1 because it is a Titan kick. Spending momentum in order to ready cards. Not really worried about that. Reiner doesn't really play the momentum game. Seeks more about backups. Allura. Allura can gain a bunch of momentum, but aside from the EX3 on Female Titan's Roundhouse, she doesn't have really a way to spend it. So I guess if you had some foundations that could spend your momentum, you could do it that way and give a whole bunch of damage to your Female Titan Roundhouse. Essek doesn't really care about momentum. Jester doesn't either. Not the Brave? Not really. Pumat Soul? No. Scanlan? Not really. He would probably just want Female Titan to step on him. Mitchell? Mitchell does like spending momentum, and he can gain momentum by reviewing a card. And he can get +1 to its speed and +1 to its EX3, so it becomes an EX4. And then that's a good way to dump your momentum to give like a bunch of speed and then a bunch of damage. I don't know if Mitchell would want to use this. I mean, he kind of just does the like vertical maneuvering equipment stuff to use his momentum defensively. Not worried about momentum, not worried about momentum, no, no. Cart Titan doesn't play with momentum. Spending momentum to clear cards from your card pool, not really Connie. But you can get a bunch of momentum quickly. Other Reiner, no. Sasha cares about momentum. Feeds her own momentum. And you can gain damage equal to your momentum, then EX3, and gain 1 damage for each of your momentum again because of the female Titan's roundhouse ability. So this could be a cool kill card in Sasha, effectively acting as double her own ability because of the response on roundhouse. So if you spend all your momentum on EX3 to make it unblockable, you'd have gained the X damage from Sasha and then X damage from female Titan's roundhouse. So that could be a pretty cool finishing move for Sasha. Deviljin, no. Annie. Not really. I don't really think that this is gonna play with normal Annie. Bertolt, no. Not really for Big Mouth Titan. Not really for Jean. Godzilla? Godzilla gives it a blanket +3 damage. Then you get the EX3. You can spend a momentum for +2 to your next check and then EX3. Maybe Godzilla? Especially because then you also have like the City Rampage to boost your stats. Mount Lady 3, this could be cool. Because it itself has 4 keywords, so revealing it in your momentum can give powerful 4. And if you're spending it all on powerful, you're just getting basically an additional use of the powerful because of the roundhouse response. Yeah, Mount Lady 3 could like this card. Not seeing anyone else who might want to play this card. Mirko, not really. I mean, All for One also has... He just switches his momentum around, though. Yeah, I'd say characters like Mount Lady 3, Godzilla, obviously Annie Leonhardt Awakened, maybe Allura if she can find the damage outside of just the response, if she has other ways to use momentum. Maybe Mitchell Cimino, and Sasha Food Fanatic is also kind of really cool for that. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about the Chaos Secret Rare from Attack on Titan Apocalypse. Female Titan's Roundhouse Kick is pretty basic, pretty simple, but also can have some explosive power behind it. But what do you guys think? I just realized I didn't ask what you thought of the Falco one either, but I'm kind of rushing these. And that's because the one I really want to talk about is coming up next. So stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one.